Hi, my name is Nena Mills, and I am the head of the FIRPTA department at Harding Bell International. For those of you who don't know who Harding Bell International is, we are a CPA firm that specializes in non-resident and domestic tax needs. Our firm was formed back in the year 2000, and at that time, we only dealt with foreign nationals, and that was our specialty until 2015, where we actually underwent a merger with a domestic CPA firm to turn us into the full service accounting firm that we are today. Now, today I'm here to talk to you about FIRPTA. I know you've probably owned your house here in the US for a while, maybe some longer than others, and now you're thinking about selling. What happens when you sell a house in the United States as a non-resident? Well, first thing is you're subject to something called FIRPTA. FIRPTA is the Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act, and it was created back in 1980 as an IRS regulation designed to tax the disposition of real U.S. property interests when they are unloaded by non-residents. Essentially, the purpose of FIRPTA is to act as a withholding to ensure that the IRS has enough money to cover any potential capital gain that may arise from your sale. Now, I know you may be thinking, but I'm not selling for a gain. Even when you're selling for a loss, the IRS actually requires that this FIRPTA withholding be held at closing. That's because it's my job to prove to the IRS that you are in fact selling at a loss, and once that happens, the IRS will indeed release your funds. So a lot of people are under the misconception that that withholding is actually a tax and is their final tax liability. That couldn't be farther from the truth. In fact, the bulk of our clients that we assist end up getting a full refund of their withholding. Sometimes it just takes 2 steps. So the way that FIRPTA works is that 15% of the gross sale price is held back at closing. So for example, if you're selling your home for $200,000, 15% of $200,000 is $30,000. So the title company, or sometimes a third-party withholding agent like HBI, will hold that money at closing. Now, once that money is held, the IRS has allowed 2 options for the way it's handled. Option number 1 is to have the money just sent to the IRS at closing. With that option, what happens is the funds are sent by the title company to the IRS. My company prepares forms to accompany that money so that the IRS will know exactly who it belongs to and how to allocate the funds. That way, when we file your U.S. income tax return for the year in which you sold the property, we'll be able to recover the funds because the IRS will know exactly where they are based on those forms, and will have sent us copies of those to tell us how to tell them where it's at. Now, this is a pretty straightforward option, but the way it works in practicality is, for instance, if you're selling on August 31st, the title company would send that 15% to the IRS. It would sit there until the end of January 2021. And end of January 2021, we typically are allowed to begin filing for non-resident tax returns. Once we submitted that return, the IRS takes about 8 to 12 weeks to issue your refund. So if you were selling in 2020 and were able to submit your tax return at the end of January, beginning of February, you could expect a refund somewhere between April and May of 2021. Now, obviously we're coming into the end of the year, so that's a fairly desirable scenario, but some people are not comfortable with that scenario. Some people would like their money back a little bit faster, and some people actually just don't want their money to go to the IRS. So there is another option that is usually available for about 90% of our clients. So the other option is to apply for something called a withholding certificate. With the withholding certificate, what happens is title holds the 15% at closing, and our company puts together an application that shows a picture of your ownership of the property. The point of the application is for us to show the IRS that you're either A, selling for a loss, or that your gain amount that's due is less than the 15% withholding. We submit that application no later than the day of closing, and then the IRS takes approximately 150 days to review it. Now, 150 days is a much longer review time that we used to see. But post COVID, the time has gotten a little bit longer because the office was actually closed for multiple months during 2020. It has reopened. It has began processing again. We are seeing withholding certificates being issued. So by the time you close, this may be different. But currently, under current situation, please plan for about 150 days for them to review. Now, what that means is that if you sell on August 31st, then roughly the IRS will issue a withholding certificate by the end of January 2021. If we are able to prove that you are selling for a loss, then the IRS withholding certificate will tell title to release your entire 15% withholding to you. If the IRS thinks that you are selling for a gain, then the IRS will actually ask for 20% of the gain amount to be sent to them. The difference is refunded to you via title, and then we apply for an additional refund when we file your 2020 U.S. income tax return. Please keep in mind that whether you send the money to the IRS in the very beginning or whether you elect to have a withholding certificate, you will be required to file an income tax return for the year in which you sell. This is because there are items on your income tax return that are not on your FIRPTA application, which may result in an additional refund being sent to you once your return is actually processed. Now, I know you're thinking 20%, I only had 15% held, but 15% is of the gross sale price. 20% will only be of the profit. For example, again, if you've sold your property for $200,000, 15% of that is $30,000. That will be held by the title company. If we are able to prove to the IRS that you only have a $10,000 gain on your sale, for instance, they will come back and ask for 20% of the $10,000. That equates to $2,000. So what will happen is when the withholding certificate is issued, $28,000 will get refunded to you, $2,000 will get sent to the IRS, and then when we file the U.S. income tax return for the year in which you sold the property, we'll apply for an additional refund of any money that went to the IRS. Now, in order to process that application, we are going to need some things from you. If you're not already an HBI client, we are going to need copies of your back tax returns. We're going to need your income tax number, which is your ITIN. Some of you may actually have Social Security numbers because you got them issued in the early 90s or before. And if you don't have a U.S. tax number, we'll have to get you one as part of the process of FIRPTA. That's not a huge problem because HBI has a contract with the IRS to be able to certify documents and obtain the necessary credentials to get your ITIN issued for you as part of the process. Now, this is just a very brief review of how FIRPTA works. Each person is going to have a little bit different nuance to every case. And because of that, we strongly suggest that you give our office a call with any questions that you may have. You can reach us at 863-968-1010. We are located in Central Florida. We have 3 offices in Auburndale, Lake Wells, and Kissimmee. Or you can send us an email at FIRPTA, which is FIRPTA, at hbitax.com. My team will respond to you within 24 hours. And if I am not available to answer your questions, you can speak to anyone on my team and they can answer your FIRPTA questions as well. So hopefully this makes you feel a little bit more comfortable with selling your property here in the U.S. Rest assured that as soon as you go under contract, you can reach out to us. We'll ask you specific questions to help determine exactly what your needs are, and we'll lay out all options available to you along with fees for your specific situation and help you make an educated decision on how you'd like to proceed. Then again, as I said in the beginning, HBI is a full-service accounting firm, so not only can we help you with the FIRPTA, we can also obtain the ITINs for you, we can also finalize your tax returns for you, we can do everything. And if you're looking to reinvest, we can also become your accountant of record if you're going to be renting the property, We can help you form a company. We can do corporate returns. Whatever your tax needs are in the US, HBI can handle that for you. But remember, this is specifically about FIRPTA, so give me a call if you have any questions. Again, it's 863-968-1010, and our email is FIRPTA, FIRPTA, @hbitax.com. Thanks and have a great day.